Welcome back to Talking College Baseball. I am your host, Chris Barber. I'm joined by my co-host, Joe Sparber. Today we have a very cool guest on from Miami, Willie Escala. Willie, thanks for coming on today. We're pumped to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's good to see you guys again. It's been a while, so I'm glad to catch up a little bit.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you. Thank you again, and let's get going.
So, Willie, in all of our podcasts, we always start from the beginning, the early stages of your career, and basically how you fell in love with baseball is the question that we always ask people, and where it went from there. So, that's our first question for you: is what made you fall in love with the game of baseball? How old were you? And we're excited to hear it.
Yeah, man, I started playing baseball when I was like 4 years old. Probably like most guys down here in Florida, I got stuck into t-ball. I don't really remember the exact moment that I like fell in love with the sport. It was something I played growing up every year, but I played multiple sports, soccer, basketball, swimming. Like I did a lot of different sports. So I think I want to say around middle school is when I knew like I was getting good at baseball and I was a pretty good player. And that's when I kind of just started to specialize in. And once I got to high school, I think that's when I really say fall in love with it because I knew number one, it was a means to me probably getting a higher education without, racking up a ton of student loans. and then, and number two, it was just, I mean, it was something that I wanted to do. Like I had a pure passion for playing. I enjoyed like everything, like the suffering and practices from running and even like, and then the victories when we played baseball in the game, the rewarding part of the game, which, it's unfortunately, it's not the biggest part of the game because we fail more than we succeed, but that was something that I liked that challenge. And that's what I think I loved about it.
Would you say in high school you stopped playing any other sports, or you continued to play other sports along the way?
Yeah, bro. I was playing football up until I got to freshman year. And then when I got to freshman year, I started playing only baseball. And then it wasn't until senior year, my senior year, I joined the swim team at my school because it was only from October to November. It was like 2 months. And I was like, you know what, man, I want to do it. Like, I haven't played any other sports. Like, it's my senior year. Why not? So I did it. And that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I was glad I did
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me that. It was something interesting that I haven't heard from a lot of people
it.
doing swimming and baseball.
Yeah, it was it probably wasn't the best idea considering the abuse of your shoulders when you're swimming and trying to do swimming and then go to like or go to practice and go to swim practice. I would cramp up so many times. Like there was one time we were doing my teacher was like, "Oh, we're gonna do 500 lap test today." I'm like, "What?" And I was like on lap 14. I do a little, the kick turn under the water, full leg cramp because that day in practice we had conditioning because we had, punishment running. And I remember like I've never had that happen in my life, but both of my legs just seized up completely. And I was literally just floating to the surface like, help me, please.
Damn, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. Super fun though.
So you swam. You swam in high school and you played football, but before that, did you play anything else like in middle school and stuff like that when you were younger? Did you just kind of run around to different
Yeah, I
things
played
or
bro, I did everything. I played basketball, I played soccer. My parents were pretty cool about that they wanted me to play other sports. I'm not gonna single out parents here, but I know there is a tendency, especially in Miami, where kids specialize in sports for very early. They'll pick baseball at like 10 years old and they only play baseball. So I got to give a lot of credit to my parents. They stuck me in other sports, and or if I wanted to play other sports, they were really cool with me doing it. They pushed me, they supported me to do it. Yeah,
Do you think those other sports helped you become a better baseball player?
1,000%, bro. I think I'm a firm believer that playing other sports unlocks like different athleticism because you're using different muscles in different sports. So to be a more well-rounded athlete as you grow up, I always recommend that kids play different sports like football and basketball, especially because basketball you're constantly jumping, you're developing your athleticism to be more explosive. Football you're getting physically tougher, mentally tougher as well. Learning how to take abuse and stuff. So I think I mean I always recommend playing other sports. I think it's the essential to developing like a higher skill set as you want to get higher up in sports.
Yeah, I mean, you said you don't want to single out parents, but I'm absolutely going to single out parents here. Um, you definitely, if you're a parent watching, I don't care what you say, don't limit your kid and their ability to become a better athlete, because that's what you're going to do. If you take them out of a whole bunch of different sports when they're young, they're not going to be a good athlete, and it's going to be your fault. It's going to be your fault for doing it, for taking them out of other sports, because every single guest we've had on has said that they played many sports growing up, and then they play at the highest level of college baseball. So I think it correlates, but some parents will think otherwise. But I think they should listen to guys like you and our other guests.
I agree.
Yeah, before
man,
we
I agree.
unwind Willie's story, like we're gonna tell you how far he's gotten with baseball and stuff, but I think I could personally say he's probably the most athletic guest we've had on our podcast. I think Chris could agree with that. Like honestly,
Yeah.
probably the most well-rounded athlete on our podcast at the moment. So we'll take you guys
Appreciate
through
that.
his journey and see how far baseball has gotten him and all the good, bads, do's, and don'ts. So
Let's dive in.
Let's do it. Okay, so you get to freshman year of high school, right? You're playing on. Obviously, you're in Miami, right? Florida is
Yep.
a very competitive baseball state. I mean, it's obvious. And you go into your freshman year. Did you have any expectations for yourself, or did you just, were like, I'm pumped to play high school baseball?
Bro, so I played with South Date when I was in eighth grade already on the freshman team. So going in, I knew I had made like a pretty big impact in terms of freshman ball. Like I knew I was like doing well. I didn't know what level I was gonna make it to, between JV varsity. But I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't expect myself to get there. And it's not that I thought I was better than everybody else, but that was like the goal I had placed on my head, was to make it to the varsity team as a freshman. Like I wanted to be on varsity. So, yeah, what was the rest of that question? My bad, I kind of got lost there.
Well, I asked if you went into high school with any expectations, or you were just, happy to play high school baseball. So obviously, it seems like you had
Yeah,
expectations for yourself. Yeah. So, which is good though.
definitely,
Many
definitely.
people just go in there and they don't even think about like anything. They just, happy to be there. But it's good to establish your expectations, and you can consider them goals, obviously. And you know, I did you say you were on varsity, or were you on JV? You said.
Bro, I'll never forget the day I made varsity. I played with some big leaguer, like a big leaguer on my team, and I also played with a couple guys that made it to the minor leagues. And I was facing one of the guys that made it to the minor leagues as a freshman. He was a senior. And I remember this was after the whole fall. I had a pretty good fall. I played up and down on JV and varsity. And I'm facing him in a live at bat, and I hit a double down the line. And the next day, I got a call from my coach after practice, brought me into the office, gave me a jersey, and said, "You're on varsity." And I was like, "Damn, no way! Like that's crazy." And I'm convinced that was the day I did it, because I had a good game. Like I think I had like 2 hits against the older varsity guys. And I didn't play as a freshman. Like I'm gonna sit here and tell you I didn't play as a freshman, but I was there. Like I was in the dugout. I was charting baseball games. So I had like the great experience of I was fortunate enough to play freshman ball, JV ball, and be at all the varsity games and play in some of the varsity games, where we ended up winning a state championship that year. So it was a sick experience.
yeah, it's really cool. Before we move on, something our guests don't know and I probably don't know. You said you played freshman ball as an eighth grader.
Yeah, yeah. So
How
it's
does
pretty
that work?
common. It's pretty common in South Florida. I think I don't know if the rest of Florida, but at least in South Florida, where eighth graders will play with the freshman club, because the freshman club isn't directly like it's affiliated with the school, but it's not an official league, if that makes sense. Like the main leagues that they have are JV and then varsity. And so freshman ball is like a way to get eighth graders to kind of like decide what schools they want to go to as well in baseball. Um, I played with, eighth graders who we're also looking to play for South Date, and I also played with some ninth graders that were there as well. And like the next year when I was in ninth grade, I played on both teams. I played on freshman ball, and I played on JV. So it was like a mix and varsity that year too. But it's a mix. I mean, it's something that it's pretty common down here, I'd say. I know a lot of guys did play freshman or freshman baseball as eighth graders. It's kind of just a way to get your foot in the door, get coaches to know you, and give you an experience to high school baseball as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. Chris, we have nothing like that up here, right?
The only thing I could think about something like that is, oh God, it's not, maybe freshman. I remember in football, we had a couple of friends that would, go to varsity practices before they even were at the school and stuff like that. But nothing like playing in a league or anything. But that's the only thing I could think of, right? With Kevin would go to RBC's practices,
yeah,
and stuff like that in eighth grade and stuff. Which, I was just like, this is crazy. But that's the only thing I could think of, but not in baseball.
How did you feel being an eighth grader playing with high school kids? Like, did it like feel like different? Like, did they look at you differently, the high school guys?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit. I mean, you definitely feel like younger, you know what I mean? Like you do feel like you're like not supposed to be there. But I remember for me, like one thing my dad always did was put me in like higher level baseball. So like when I was 10, I played 12U. When I was 12, I was playing 14U. Like, yeah, I always played up. I always played up to above my age level. I never played at my age level. I maybe played 5 tournaments in my whole life at my own age level. So for me, that was like something that I enjoyed playing up to competition because I felt like I had to do it for me to play better, if that makes sense. Like, and something that kind of followed me my whole life is I always played better against better competition, and I don't know why. It's just something that was kind of ingrained in me, I guess you could say. So I mean, I enjoyed it. Like, I thought it was cool, and it was really cool when you like performed well because everybody's just like, damn, man, this kid's in eighth grade and he hasn't even got the freshman year of high school and he's already balling out. Like, imagine when he, gets a little bit stronger and whatever and matures more. So it was a cool feeling, I'd say, more than nervous.
Yeah, that's really cool. You were ready for it, playing up your whole life, and then you did get bigger, stronger. You matured more. Did you play on any summer leagues or any travel teams, or you stuck with high school?
Yeah, I played with this team called. I never played with any of the big organizations. I didn't. Not until my last year of high school. But like my first couple of years, I played with a team called Baseline. Then I played with another team called MPI the next year. And then my last year, I played with Evo Shield, Florida, Prime. So that was just like I never really played with the huge organizations until my last year. But I always played summer ball. I was in all those perfect game tournaments and whatnot. But I never was like into like the big, all these big travel ball teams and associations that they have 15 teams below each other. So
cool. So were you seen or like exposed to like the big colleges from your first team you were on, or did the big colleges see you when you were on Team Evo Shield and stuff?
Bro, I got my first letter from in my freshman year of high school. I went to a elite squad showcase. I was trying out for the elite squad team, and I remember my first 60 I ever ran. I ran a 6.84, and I didn't know that was good or anything, but apparently it was when I was a freshman. And they're like, "Oh, did you ever run a 60 before?" I'm like, "No." Like, they're like, "Oh, you ran a 6.84," and I'm like, "Okay, is that good?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's really good." And I was like, well, "All right, I guess it's good." And I remember after that showcase, I actually faced a couple senior pitchers that year in the showcase, and I got like a couple hits off them. And then like 3 weeks later, I got a letter from University of Miami that not that I was getting an offer or anything, but that they were going to start recruiting me. So I'd say it started more for me with the showcases than it did with the travel ball. I think the only year I started to get like actively recruited was after my junior year of high school, where I had a really good year, and then I went to summer ball and I started playing for Evo Shield, Florida, which had a little bit of a bigger name, and I remember more teams were coming to watch me play that year.
Were you already committed to Miami at that time or no?
I was not. I hadn't even got an offer yet that year. I had been getting recruited by all these teams, and I never got an offer. It was just like, hey, like we're really interested in you. Hey, why don't you come to our camp? Or hey, we're gonna keep following you. We're gonna come watch your games, stuff like that. But I never got an active offer. Not from big schools. It was more like D2s, JUCOs, stuff like that.
Sounds similar to Chris and I, our story. Same thing. Just
So let me
leading you
ask you,
on, leading you on. You never knew it was going to happen.
when you first got your first letter from was it kind of like, holy shit, or was it like, all right, you know what, I kind of expected this, I'm a good player and stuff like that, or so what was your reaction when you first got your first letter?
I mean, I was pumped, dude. I had no idea like I had that type of talent on me yet. Because granted, this is my freshman year before I even played the spring. I didn't even play a varsity game yet or anything, or even a JV game, for that to say the least. So when I remember I got the letter in January after the camp was in December, and I was just like, damn man, like okay, like I guess I am like a pretty good player, but I still didn't believe it because I hadn't played on varsity yet. I didn't even have the starting job on varsity, so I'm like, what's like who's gonna commit to a guy that hasn't even played a game yet on varsity? That was my thought. So it was like really cool. I remember I was really excited. I'm like, damn, okay, I can. I had this. That was the first time I realized I had a shot at playing high level college baseball. That was the first time I got that. So that feeling was really cool. But it made me like hungrier. Like, okay, like let's start working. Let's get better because this is actual opportunity, and clearly people think you have the talent for it.
When you see it dangling in front of you, it almost makes you work harder. Like you see, you could grab it,
Yes,
so just helps you turn it up.
absolutely, absolutely. I think I'm a big believer with when things are right in front of your face and they're just out of reach. That's when you really got to dig in and get that little extra push out.
What did you start to do differently then, when you saw the opportunity was there?
I'll be honest, I just stayed really focused. I mean, at that point, I had started to do more like, working out, lifting weights, kind of a little bit. I wasn't a big fan of lifting weights yet, just because I was still early in high school and I was like, dude, I want to grow a little bit. I wasn't the tallest guy, so I wanted to make sure I didn't do anything to stunt my growth. But I remember I just started running more. I worked on my speed because I knew the biggest thing for me was my speed. I mean, clearly I ran I ran a 6'8". Nowadays I've been down up to a 6'4", 60. So I knew speed was going to be my biggest asset going into as I get older and what's going to be like the biggest tools. And, one thing I did learn early on was what type of player I was. I wasn't a home run guy. I wasn't anything like that. So like when you say, what did I focus on? I focused on my defense because I knew I was always a really good defender. I had a good arm, so I worked on my arm strength, long tossing, shoulder exercises, making sure my arm was good. And I worked on my speed. Those were the three big ones that, besides hitting, the three outside factors I'd say were those three. The speed was the biggest one for me. I knew if I was a fast runner and I could steal bases, that would help me boost my recruiting profile as I got older.
That might have been the most knowledgeable sentence I've heard in a while. That I don't think anyone's mentioned. No, like seriously, like I don't think not many people of our guests have mentioned that, and it's one of the most important things you can have and which you should know. What type of player that you are and sticking to that. If you just do that simple thing, you will have a lot of success in baseball. The problem that people run into is not knowing what type of player they are. It's like for me and for Joe, if we were like, okay, well, I think we're gonna be tough on the bags and we're gonna slap in the 4-6 hole, we probably wouldn't play that long. We're the type of guys who are like, all right, we gotta hit some from power or whatever. For you too, it's just like, yeah, you're gonna have some power and stuff, but you're gonna use your speed. Your speed's gonna get you to the next level. People try to be like everything all at once, and that's what the problem is.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I mean, I think too I agree. I think when you specialize in certain things, like Also, I knew speed was a different role. You know, not everybody has speed on the
Mhm.
baseball field. It's a really like underlooked field, I would say. And when you can couple speed with bunting skills or contact skills, whatever it is, you really put together a package that looks way more approachable for coaches to give you offers for.
I agree. Joe, tell me if I'm wrong here. Even if you're in the big leagues, Mike Trout, perfect 5'2" player. Guess what? He's not a 5'2" player anymore. He found out even at the highest level what is going to bring his team and himself more success, and he focused on that. He doesn't even steal bases anymore because of that. It's just like, okay, if I could stay healthy and stuff like that, I'm going to just try to hit homers and doubles and not steal bases. It's the same thing. It happens at every level. And, so obviously work on your tools and stuff like that, but really hone in on what you're good at. And I think that will make you successful. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with exactly what Willie said. The faster you find out what you're good at, know what you're good at, and just keep getting better at that. Hone everything else around that, but make that part of your game, and it'll go a really long way.
So now that now you're a senior in high school around, let's say, um, or even before that, when did you commit to Miami? I mean, that's the question,
Uh,
you know.
Committed right before my senior year.
Okay. So what was the
Yeah, I was
process like that committing?
dude, I that was crazy that month. It was actually my first month playing summer ball after my junior year. So I started as a sophomore in varsity, had a good year. Went to some camps in the summer, stuff like that. Junior year, I had a monster year. I had my best year in high school. So I was coming off my best year. A lot of colleges knew that. That were like already kind of watching my games because some of them had to watch my games at that point.
Mhm.
And I remember first tournament I go to with Evo Shield, like 5 or 6 schools came to watch me play, and watch our team play. And I go 4 for 4, like 4 stolen bases. And that day when I got in the car, I got like 4 phone calls in a row from different schools, just like calling me to send me an offer and everything. It was crazy, man. I remember just driving with my dad. We were in, I think, Tampa at the time. I want to say Tampa or Sanford. I don't remember exactly. I know we were like or middle of Florida, and it was just like first phone call was like FIU, and second phone call was like USF, and then I got a phone call from and that's when I didn't commit right on the spot, but I was like, okay, like now we got to really think this one through. So that was it was insane.
Was Miami always your first choice if you got that offer? Did you know that's where you wanted to
Yeah,
go?
I did want to go there. Obviously financially, I had to make sure it worked out because, as you know, Miami's not a cheap school to go to. So, but it did. It worked out financially, the package and everything. And for me, it was my number one. If everything, all money aside, if everything worked out financially, then yeah, it was my number one school.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good story to hear. You're number one. You get it. Everything worked out, and then you worked hard for it, though.
I did, man. I mean, I gotta thank my parents a lot for everything they did for me, all the training camps they took me to, the college camps, the speed trainers. Because without that, I would have never got that opportunity.
So we get to Miami.
So,
Fresh. Go on, Chris.
well, I was going to ask, you mentioned earlier that you liked being the younger guy always, and people saying like, oh, like, look at him, he's doing this well, he's a young guy, but you get to your senior year. How did that role, like you switched roles to being the top leader and the older guy showing the younger guys the ropes? Did you like that role, or would you rather be the younger guy again?
I think I switched pretty good. I'd have to say I did like underperform to my standards my senior year. I still had a good year, like overall. If you look at my numbers, it's not a bad year. but I definitely did not perform to like the standards that I held myself to, and that most guys or most people would have expected from me at that time when I was already committed to UM. But the one thing I did good that I'd say, and I don't know how guys viewed it, but I think they would say the same thing, was that I was a good like leader in terms of keeping our team together. Because my senior year, my head coach had retired from baseball at the time, and we got a new head coach, and it was like and on top of that, we graduated. I want to say 10 seniors the year before, something like that. So really, the only two guys coming back in the lineup were me and my best friend Richie from that had played varsity experience, and then the rest of us either had been on varsity watching or had a few at bats or played a little bit, but they didn't. Nobody had like a full season under their belt, because we had like the same team for almost 3 years, which was crazy. So I remember, I feel like, yeah, I might have, in terms of pressure, I might have put too much pressure on myself, but overall, I did like the fact that I was like the leader that the younger guys looked up to, and that I was able to like make an impact and like keep a certain culture within our team where we struggled the whole year. We did, but we were able to fight. And I think a big part of that was me and the seniors were able to pull ourselves together and pull our team together. And we ended up winning the district championship, and we made it to regionals with a team that we almost didn't even make the districts to start with. So it was a cool experience.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, ending your senior year, now you got to prepare to go to UM. And obviously, UM had the freshman program, right, where you go early.
Yeah.
So I've heard plenty of stories about that, and I'm excited to hear your side because you're from Miami, so it's a little bit different. It's not that far, but it's still a change compared to what you're used to. So I want you to give us a little rundown of how you felt about going early.
So yeah, we had that summer program, right? And I mean, I know Joe can attest to it, but dude, we died that summer. Like because you're in high school, you lift a little bit, bro. But like I had never been big into lifting like that, and I was a physical guy. Like I'm a guy that had like high endurance. Like I could put up with a lot of crap. But I remember, man, we were lifting 4 times a week, damn near maxing out like every other week or so. And we're running sprints after all this crap or before, and then we're going to only 2 classes, bro, in the summer. And I just remember being like dead, bro. Like the first month, my body was in shambles. But I think I have to say, I feel like that set me up for the rest of the season because I went through all that, and like, we all went through it, and we kind of like got through it. We had our grades, and it was like a good like introduction period to UM baseball because Joe can say it, like it didn't get any easier after that. It got way worse. Like we had 5 classes on top of that, and we were doing probably more than we were already doing before in terms of conditioning, weightlifting, and we had practice with that. So I mean, I could go for days about the whole physical part, but that summer, man, that was changing. It changed my mind, I'd say, in the fact that I kind of understood what it takes to excel at a higher level, like how mentally tough you have to be. Because at the end of the day, it might have like broke you physically, but if you could push through it mentally, that's when they knew like what you could handle, and they had a lot more faith in you.
Absolutely. I know you were saying it got harder like as the fall came, but honestly, in my opinion, I don't think anything could prepare you better than that summer because nothing was harder than that for me. And my 5 classes, practices, staying up all night was nothing compared to that first initial shock to your system in the summer.
Yes.
I don't know what it was.
I agree. I think we just weren't ready for it. Yeah, we just weren't ready for it. Like you go into college expecting everything to be cool, like you're at a top D1 program in the country, and you're thinking it's going to be like, all right, man, we're going to do our lifts. We're going to do a little bit of running, nice and easy. But, man, the way they pushed us that year, it was like, it like Joe said, it got like, once you got to the fall, you're just like, all right, this again, like, okay, here we go.
Yep.
You know?
You go from being on top of the world in high school, like big time commit, to getting to campus and within a day feeling like you don't even belong on a baseball field.
Not to mention, we came in probably in the worst year because they had just lost the 44-year regional streak.
True.
So you could imagine like how, yeah, pissed they were, but also like, okay, like we got to get these guys in shape because we need to get back there. So that was kind of the sense of urgency we dealt with.
That's true.
I mean, you guys had
That's
sick
true.
points, too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but Willie was one of the guys I came in with freshman year. One of my great friends, great teammate, and yeah, he kind of taught me like little Spanish ways. I didn't really know how to speak like the slang and stuff. The first thing Willie ever texted me was like I was going over his house for a hurricane, like a hurricane was coming, and he texted me the word DALE. Listeners, whatever you want to make of it, you pronounce it how you want. But I remember seeing Willie in class the next day, and I was like, Willie, what does Dale mean? Like, what the hell is Dale? And he's like, what is Dale? I was like, I don't know. You texted it to me. He's like, no, I didn't. I was like, yes, you did. Go to our text messages. You texted me the word Dale. And he's like, no, I didn't. So he goes to the phone, and you could take it from here.
Yeah, and
Explain it.
I look at the phone and I'm like, Joe, I was like, it's not Dale, bro, it's Dale. I was like, we all say that all the time. It's like, I told him, it's like, he's like, what's Dale? And I'm like, basically, it's like our like bet, or since Joe's from Jersey, we're like, it's your word, you know, like it's the way you use word in a sentence. That's the way we use Dale. And that was a funny, man. That was I was dying that day when we talked about it. I was dying.
Yeah, we had a good class. We had a great group of guys too. So like, I think we were lucky with that in that end. There was, what do we have? 15 guys our freshman year, our class.
Dude, yeah, I want to say 15, 17 guys maybe. Freshmen alone, we had like 14, I think, 15.
And then
It was crazy, bro. But it was all very cool dudes.
Yeah, the thing that I take from you guys, obviously knowing you through Joe, obviously I know Willie from Woodstock as well, so we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But what I've taken from all you guys in that class is just how unselfish you guys are. You know, you guys are very for the other guy, for the next guy, for your teammates. You know, I've talked to all of you guys, and from the first time I met you guys, it's always been you guys are together type of thing. It's not like we're solo going at it. It's like you guys are together. And I think the summer program has a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? You go in there into the fall with a full team and stuff like that, and you're kind of solo. But when you're a freshman, going there early, you feel like you guys are the like top of the world. Like Joe was saying, you go into the fall, you're like, you can't touch us until the upper class come in there and they're like, yeah, this is not it, you know. But I think that's it has to do with like the type of guys you guys are, you know. Honestly, you guys are good dudes, unselfish.
during that transition period, Willie. Yeah, Chris, thank you for that. I appreciate that. We all agree. During that transition period from summer ball to fall ball and stuff, was there any like upperclassmen that you were like, oh, damn, they got their shit together. I want to follow their lead. I want to do things like how they do it. Like they're on task. They're like not goofing off. Was there anyone that stood out to you in particular, or a few guys?
Bro, I'm trying to think, dude. Because I don't really remember like who was there with us working out as much. I remember like following along with like Romy, because I remember Romy was like the guy from the year before. He had a good year, and he was in the Cape Cod, and I'm like, that was a guy like I was looking at like, okay, like that's what I got to try to do if I want to get to where I want to be one day, you know, in the terms of like following in his footsteps, because he had done it, like, you know, he played and he was a good player and he was going to the right places, you know. So I was like, all right, well, if my end goal was to get drafted from UM, then like I was remember just watching like Romy and the things he was doing. I'm like, okay, like I need to get, like, how do I get to that level of being like that good of a baseball player? And then yeah, I remember the other guy I used to watch a lot was Danny Reyes. Just the way he carried himself through everything, man. He was a very professional person, like good human being. You could say that too. Like he was a good person, but he also like was competitive as hell, and he carried himself like differently when he was on the field. And it always showed the way he played.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
Yeah, we got to get Romy on here because everyone says Romy is the role model. You know, I've never met Romy and I want to talk to him, but the rumors I've heard about Romy when you guys first got there was just like, this guy's different. You know, like this, everything he does is just different. You know, that's what I've always heard about Romy.
Yeah, he was also a good dude, just very intimidating when you first met him.
Yeah, he was a scary guy. Like I first met him because you just thought like you knew he was good, and I think he knew he was good. So you were kind of like damn, dude, I probably shouldn't like. You just be like, what's up, what's up, Romy, and just keep it moving because you didn't want to like I don't know be in his space too long or something. It was funny. Yeah. He was a really good dude though. He really was a good dude. Yeah, especially once like the fall started and we all kind of started to get together.
So let me ask you something about that freshman year. If there is it's a two-part question. One is, what is your favorite memory from your freshman year on the field, and your favorite memory from your freshman year off the field?
All right. Say favorite memory on the field. I think besides hitting my first home run in college, my favorite memory was Clemson weekend that we were down 9 runs in the ninth inning or something, or 8 runs in the ninth inning, and we scored 8 runs to tie it and come back and win that game in Clemson at their place. Bro, that was just a cool weekend. I remember like I had a really good weekend offensively and defensively. I made some really sick plays that week. And I remember we flew there on a charter plane to freaking Clemson, bro, and it was cool, man. That's probably my favorite memory. I think winning that game just because of like the way that game unfolded. I remember first inning they hit a grand slam. We're like, oh god, bro, here we go. We're just like, dude, what's gonna go? Like this is going bad already. We were down 5-0 in the first, and then I remember I think it was Jeff pitching, and he really like dug in and held it down for a couple more innings, and then we were still down, but the game never got blown out completely, and then that miracle happened in the ninth. And yeah, man, I'd say probably my favorite memory, I think, was that comeback win. Off the field, I think Joe knows this one. The prank calling ESPN.
No.
Dude, we had 2 guys get on. What was it, around the horn or something?
Yeah.
Or I don't remember.
Was
it around the horn?
With Gabe talked about it. Tiki Barbier, I think, right, Chris?
Bro, it might have been that one, but it was 2 guys. Yeah, 2 guys back to back prank call this ESPN show, bro. We're on like one of the biggest, TV providers or networks at the time, and back to back just asked like 2 ridiculous questions or statements. Like one was like, I remember Connor was like, oh, I think the Golden State Warriors. This is when the Golden State Warriors just won the NBA championship, by the way. And he's like, I think the next best move for the Golden State Warriors is to trade Steph Curry. Just get rid of him. Just get rid of him. Bro, and the guy on the TV, the host is like, what? Are you crazy? And then like 2 minutes later, they pick up the phone again, and it's Gabe. And Gabe says some ridiculous statement. They're just like, are we getting pranked today? What's going on here? Like, are you screening the calls? Like, bro, it was insane. That was my favorite off the field memory for sure.
That was like we were all in the locker room too. It was like during a rain delay, so we were like all together.
Yes.
I have a really good memory of Willie freshman year on the field that I would like to share too. This is like the memory I'll never forget. We were playing the Marlins. The Miami Marlins the day before opening day for them. And
yes,
I
fresh off spring training.
The next game they were playing was the next day at home, so they had all their guys ready. Like for first 6 innings, they play their starters, and I didn't think we were going to lose by a lot, or I knew we were going to lose, but I didn't think we were going to get killed like that. It was like 24-1,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 24-1. But like the one run we had was like Willie gets up like after they're like pitching like I think a perfect game to like 6 or something. It was something crazy.
Yeah, it was a lefty. It was like the fourth guy in the rotation that year, Peters.
Yeah, just absolutely shoving it to us. Willie gets up and hits like a absolute rocket off of the third base bag that gets to the wall. He stretches it out to a triple. I think they recorded like Statcast of you like 20-something miles an hour. You probably got the exact number.
I still remember it was 29.7 feet per second. It was like right next to the elite speed threshold. I was pumped.
Yeah, like it was unbelievable. And then Mikey Perez hits like a single up the middle. Like they throw it at first, but Willie scores, and we were just absolutely going crazy. It was 23-1, and we were going crazy.
Oh man,
that was the last time we ever played the Marlins.
Yeah, I think they agree that it's probably just better.
It was cool though. You hit a triple.
I did hit a triple, man. That was a cool moment.
A big league triple.
Off a big leaguer. Their starting rotation.
Off a big leaguer.
Oh, man.
I don't think he's still in the big leagues, but...
I think it was that moment that probably set him over the edge. You know, giving up a triple. He's probably like 18-year-old kid. He's probably like, shit. I'm supposed to pitch tomorrow, and I'm going to just give up a triple. What am I doing? Rethinking his life.
That was fun.
Oh, God.
That was a fun experience. Dude, we have some wild memories. I have a lot from freshman year, bro.
That's where everything comes from.
Do you remember UCF?
I remember playing UCF.
You remember when we went to go work out in the morning?
I do.
Me and Freddie were roommates. Bro, we wake up, I think the workout was 8:30. Me and Freddie wake up 8:27 with both of our alarms and our phones going off with FaceTime calls. And we wake up, we're like sleeping, we just look at each other. And we're like, oh, we're so screwed. Dude, we start running, we're putting on our clothes. I got one shoe on, Freddie's got his shoes in his hand, I think. We're running down the elevator. And we get outside, and the bus is gone. Bus is pulling out.
GM's not holding the bus for anyone.
Yeah. Bro, I throw my hands up. I'm like, no way, bro. We missed the bus. We're so screwed. And apparently, like, Freddie starts walking back into the hotel. And, bro, we get back after. We ended up, the bus stop. Me and Freddie sprint to the bus. We get on. And, you know, obviously, Jim Morris found out about it, and we get to breakfast later that day, and 3 pulls me and Freddie aside, and he goes, "Yeah, you two hot shots, that you can just wake up whenever." He's like, "Just because you're starting right now doesn't mean that I'm not gonna bench you." And I'm like, "Yeah, we messed up, 3. We messed up." He's like, "Well," he's like, "Don't let it happen again." I'm like, "Dude, I don't think that ever happened again. I woke up every day early as hell."
That's right. You guys were both starters at the time. You guys were both starting. Yeah. I remember you chased the bus down in the middle of the highway. GM wasn't holding it up. He didn't care.
Oh, man.
That was a good time.
I mean, I got to attest to that because, like, I mean, there's nothing more petrifying than being late to an event for the team. Like, or it's just like you wake up, you see the alarm, you're like, okay, we're there. You wake up, you're like, okay. But 8:27 for an 8:30 lift, your heart just automatically drops to the floor. You're just like,
dude.
Oh my God.
I wish I had a screenshot of me and Freddie's face because I know it was just like we're screwed, bro. That was funny.
Oh man, that's tough. That's tough. Good thing you were playing well, you know. You know, it's
Yeah. Luckily.
Yeah.
That was like right when I started to get hot, actually, too, that year. So it was perfect timing. But
you were starting at second at the time, right?
Miss the bus?
Oh, if I missed the bus, I was cut. I can't miss the bus. I had to follow all the rules. I wasn't starting. I wasn't doing anything. Missing the bus, I might as well walk home. Call an Uber.
Oh man, that's
Dude.
great.
So then
So
summer ball
after-
comes. When did you go in summer ball?
Yeah.
Freshman year, I forget.
That year, I went to Alaska, bro.
That's
That
right.
was the coolest experience I ever had. I mean, it's far and everything, man. But if you're gonna go play summer ball, like I always tell the guys, like, bro, leave your house, go see a new state or city, bro. It's a cool experience, and you can get a lot from it. I mean, I remember I go to Alaska, man. I went hiking, I went fishing in the Kenai River, like for salmon and stuff. And I mean, dude, what an experience, bro. I was in the sunlight 24 hours a day, sun never set. Like that's an experience I'll never forget. So for me, that was a cool experience. I think one of the coolest experiences I had playing summer ball there.
I remember getting on the phone with you. You said some games would start at like 10:30 and the sun was out and stuff like that.
Yeah, bro. I went hiking one day at like 11 p.m. And like I remember went out one night, dude. Yeah, like we would go hiking, come back like 2 a.m. One night, we went out.
What was it?
One night we go out to like a like a little club thing, and we come outside 2:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning, pure sunlight. We're just like, bro, what time is it? And I'm like looking at the watch. I'm like, no, bro, it's only 2:30. Like it's not that late. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy, bro. It was the most nutty thing ever. Like your mind wouldn't like wrap around it.
Did the sun
That's
ever go
actually
down
insane.
when you were there?
Not in the summer, bro. The summer, it like comes set. Like it gets set and then it just doesn't. It just goes back up. It's gnarly.
Oh my
Like,
god! Wait, did you like
Yeah.
sleep? Did you have good sleep, or were you just like I could stay up? All
Yeah,
day?
I had blackout curtains.
Yeah.
You could, bro. Honestly, like if you wanted to, you could if you just stayed outside. Like I went, when we went fishing. We went fishing like 4 in the morning. Oh, we're in the car at 4 in the morning. It's pure sunlight. I'm like, bro, I'm like tired, but I'm not. We get to the fishing place. It's 5:30 in the morning. We're fishing until like midday. It didn't even look like the time changed. So it was crazy. It's crazy.
Was it hot, or was it like a hot but like no?
No, it was
wasn't
beautiful.
humid type of thing. It was just always nice.
I'll never forget getting off the plane and breathing in the fresh air of Alaska. Bro, it is different. It is different than Miami. Like, you get off the plane, you're like, and it's just like clear air. Like, you're like, oh, so this is what oxygen is supposed to be like, Yeah, bro, that air was crisp, bro, like 65, 72 degrees. It's beautiful.
Wasn't it tough to get there?
You
I
see
thought
any
you were
bears?
telling me.
Bro, I went on a 3-plane plane ride over there. A three-stop plane ride. I went to LA, 5-hour flight to LA. I had a 2-hour layover. So I left at 7 p.m. from Fort Lauderdale. I get to LA, it's like 9 p.m. I think, because it was 3 hours back, and I got 2 hours. Like I got 3 hours back from the 5. Then my next flight was like 11 or midnight. I get to Portland at 2 a.m. and I have a 4-hour layover till 6 a.m. And then I got to Alaska like at 9 a.m. the next day. I was like, bro, crazy. Long
9
flight.
9 a.m. and then the whole summer you don't see the moon once. It's just sunny.
Dude, just sunny.
I can't imagine the winter. I can't imagine the winter.
The sun doesn't come out.
There's no sun.
The sun
Bro,
doesn't come out at all.
6 months of darkness. 6 months of darkness.
I just can't fathom that. That's like, you got to be
Yeah.
depressed, right? You have to go to a depression.
Dude,
What
they
do you
have,
do?
at least from what I remember, like reading in studies, bro, Alaska's like the leading state in depression because of the fact that there's no
I
sun
believe
for
it.
6 months.
I definitely believe that. Oh my
6
god.
months, you're just like, 6 months, you're just like, you're probably sleeping all the time. Like,
Yeah.
what do you just go to work? You're driving in the
it's-
dark. You're at your job and you're
Literally,
just
you're always trying.
it's dark
always driving in
again.
the dark.
It's 2 p.m. It's
Let me
pitch
get my
black out.
flashlight out to walk back to my car.
Yeah,
What do you
it's
think
crazy.
the
It's crazy.
electric bills are in Alaska during the winter? It's crazy.
I don't know, bro, but it's the government pays people to go live there, so So,
Yeah, I bet.
or at least they did. I don't know if they still do, but I know they did for quite a few years.
Wow.
Well, I mean, here they have to pay you.
Yeah.
It's going to be dark the whole time. You go to your car, you get a grizzly, Coming at you. You got a grizzly coming at you in the middle of the day, and it's pitch black. You don't know what's going on. Yeah, I can't imagine that. It's cold. It's a tough place, but in the summer,
Dude,
summer is nice.
It's beautiful. Summer's beautiful there. That's for sure.
So how do you compare that to Woodstock?
I mean, nature-wise, like, yeah, dude, I was in Anchorage, Alaska, which is like a little city. And it was nice, bro, because I had everything. We had a gym, we had a movie theater, we had, you can go on hikes or whatever, and they were all nearby. And Woodstock, bro, Woodstock, obviously, like you've been there. It's a not smaller of a city. Now, I still love Woodstock, though. The people there are great. The team was cool. The host parents were really nice. Like all the families were really nice. But yeah, bro, like Alaska just had a little bit more to do, in the off time. Woodstock was like,
Woodstock is the second.
Woodstock was the second. I actually went to the Cape for 2 weeks that summer, my sophomore year. And then I was on a temp contract. I ended up getting released. Then I went to Woodstock, and that was my first summer in Woodstock. Was 2019.
Woodstock, yeah, and then you came back 2021.
Yeah, so I played 2020 I played in the South Florida Collegiate League because of COVID. And then 2021 I ended up going back to Woodstock because I was thinking about grad transferring at the time, and I just wanted to keep playing.
That's when for the listeners out there, me and Willie played together then. So you played with Joe first.
Yes.
And then you come play with me.
Yeah.
In Woodstock, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It was just kind of like wow, like this is crazy. I mean, Woodstock obviously had Mike Bocock. He's a different guy. He's a different bird, Mike. But they're good people over there.
Yeah, I still talk to Bocock, bro. Actually, he called me today, looking for some players. So I was getting ready to send him some names and some contacts that I have to help him out. I still keep in contact with him pretty often now.
Well, Willie, I'm looking for some players for this summer. I'm looking for some players. You got anybody from Miami? Come play for the Woodstock.
That's exactly what it is, bro. Hey, the one thing I will tell you about Woodstock, bro, they love their Miami guys, man.
Oh my God, they do.
They always got like 4 or 5 Miami guys.
You're going to Bocock's house.
Yeah,
dude. Guayos was out here, and he told the experience about living in Bocock's house, and he was like,
yeah.
He was like, man, he used to drive him home from the game.
Yeah, I remember that. That was funny, bro. We used to talk about, I'm like, dude, what do you even talk about? Like, what if you pitch and you have a crappy performance? He said to sit in the car with Bocock the whole way home. 40 minutes.
Bocock, he's just sitting there. Fuck my tears. That was his favorite line. That was his favorite line.
Dude, he used to go, well, God damn it, fuck me to tears. or he'd be like, that's fucking bull fucking shit.
And then Ackerman would be like, when I was in the big leagues, back in my day, it's like, Paul, that was like 1920 when you were in the big leagues. We get it.
Dude, shout out to Ack, bro. Ack threw me the day I hit for the cycle in Woodstock. He broke my bat in BP. He threw me like a little split finger cutter. I don't even know what. Hit off into the bat. My bat broke. So I used the Woodstock River Bandits game bat that they gave me.
That's right. I remember that.
That they had for the team, and I hit for the cycle, bro. And I was like, dude, it's the bat, bro. It's the bat.
Framing that thing.
It was was it the first or second in the history of the league where you hit a straight cycle?
I don't know,
single,
bro.
Double, triple.
I don't even know.
Straight.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Joe, let's give you a little rundown on Ackerman. He was this old guy, played in the big leagues in the 60s or whatever, 70s, I don't know. And he would wear this in the hot, sticky, steamy weather of Virginia in the summer. He would wear this hot Pittsburgh Pirates windbreaker. long sleeve, and he would throw
every time.
BP for hours. For hours, you loved it. It was like
It's
60
unbelievable.
He loved it, bro.
It was not.
And he threw solid BP, bro. It was good BP most of the time.
It was just
Pretty good.
Like, he had his days, but it was always really good BP. Like, I never like complained about it for me. I thought it was alright.
It wasn't Lopes BP.
Oh, definitely not Lopes BP.
Him at camp. I remember going
My
to
favorite
Miami.
was
We got to get him on here one day.
JD had some good
JD
BP.
did
that's for
throw
sure.
good BP. Gino dialed it up. He would really break bats.
Gino used to crack me up, bro, because he would be like, he's a good BP thrower, bro, but he would get like pissed off sometimes when you were hitting, like when we were going like oppo or whatever, and you were like flaring it too much, and like I don't know what it was. I don't know if he did it on purpose or if it was just but he would get like a little pissed and throw a little bit harder than the next one.
He would progressively throw faster and faster.
Yeah, and you would get like fisted or flare it again. He'd throw the next one even harder. And then
On the left side too.
I remember by the end of the round, at the end of the round, you're seeing like 95 comparison of MVP.
Oh, that was so funny.
But then when you would hit him, when you hit him good, he would just start grooving you fastballs in there, and you'd be like, all right, here we go.
Oh yeah.
And you got a groove.
Oh yeah. He knew what he was doing. He knew where to put it, when to put it. If you were doing bad, he was throwing it at your hands, and he was making you were feeling it.
Yeah.
But what Chris and I have been talking about, we were really excited to hear your story. World Baseball Classic. I want you to talk about that.
Dude, that was I want to say the single greatest moment of my life in terms of baseball playing career. Getting to represent, my mom's side, in her country. That was really cool, man. A really cool moment for me. I'm really proud that I got to do that. What's crazy is my connection came through indie ball. So my coach from independent ball this past year, Simon, he was coaching for Germany in the 2022 WBC qualifiers where Czech Republic was playing. They happened to scrimmage Czech Republic like 2 weeks before that in Czech Republic as kind of like some warm-up games, to get ready for the tournament. And he kind of put in a word for me with the coaches there, and then at the tournament as well, kind of kept on it. And that's when they found out about me. They found out about my Czech heritage. My mom was born there. She was, born and raised there. So, dude, when I got that opportunity and they called me and they said, like, do you want to play? I was like, duh. Like, man, I was so pumped. What an experience. So we actually, first thing, I was gone for 2 months basically this year over there. I went to Czech Republic about 2 weeks earlier before we did anything because I wanted to start to get to know some of the guys, which I thought was the right thing to do, number one. And number two, like I really wanted to do it because I didn't want to go play and just like not know anybody. Playing for Czech team, the really cool thing is everybody speaks English. So there was like no like communication barriers for me. Like it was just like very easy to just kind of flow in there. And first thing we did, we went to Valencia, Spain. So I got to go to Spain for 4 days. We were playing some scrimmages there. Mind you, I had already been in Czech Republic for a month, so I got to see Prague and stuff like that. Then we come back. We're in Prague for a couple more days, and we go to Miyazaki, Japan for training camp in March. That's when like the rest of the team came together. We had some dudes in our team. We had a guy named Merrick Kloop, who was playing at UNC Greenville, I think UNC Greenville, and then he ended up playing independent ball this year. And then we actually had our MLB veteran guy was Eric Sogard. He played 10 years big leagues, and I mean he's a really 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 cool dude. So I got to learn a lot from him. He's a super cool guy. And then, so we go to Miyazaki, man, and we're there. We were there for a week. So we had a couple of days of practices, and we played 4 scrimmages as well against 2 Japanese industrial league teams, which is like basically like independent league teams. And then we played 2 of the minor league teams from the MPB league teams. So the MPB is like Japan's professional league, and then we play like their minor league system guys. And that was cool, bro. We played in this huge stadium where Miyazaki, Japan was like a like fishing area town, I'd say. And it was cool, bro. Just like walking around Japan, buying like sushi. Like I had never really eaten sushi, and I ate sushi there. I had sashimi. I tried like squid, bro. I was trying everything because I was like, well, I'm in Japan. Like, why not, you know? And then we go to Tokyo, and Tokyo was insane, bro. So first of all, everything we did was first class flights, first class hotel. Bro, we stayed in a 5-star hotel that was literally the size of a block in Japan. Like it was the entire block with a shopping mall underneath. Like I was like, bro, what is this? The hotel was beautiful. I flew first class all the way to Japan. You know, like unlimited food, drinks. I had my own little sleeping pod, and it was sick, dude. You know, obviously we had like first class bus, and then just yeah, man. Then we got to the classic, and the classic was insane, bro. Like the if you want to ask me questions, please just stop me. I'll keep going. And so we go play the first game. We play China, bro. We played China, and we won. And the big thing for us was our goal was to get there and number one, like, you know, represent Czech Republic, Czech baseball, and put on like, you know, show that we can play baseball, but also put on like a good, like, how do you say, like a good face, like kind of really represent our country correctly. But number two was like we wanted to win a game. You know, we wanted to win. Like we wanted to. The main goal was to requalify for the next one. So the first game we played in China, and bro, I'm on deck in the 8th inning, and the guy in front of me, Martin Mujic, we're down by 2 at this point. It's 1 out, it's first and third, and they have like a bound meeting before he comes up to hit. First pitch slider, boom, home run. We take the lead, bro. Oh my God, bro, the chills I get even talking about it right now is like it was the coolest moment because like it just propelled us up. We were down by a run, I think. Yeah, we were down by a run, and we ended up going up 7-5, I think, or something like that. I know we were up by 2. And then I remember I come up to hit after him, and at this point I'm like, bro, I'm like shaking, like just pumped up because that just happened. Like we just took the lead in the 8th. You know, we're 3 outs away from securing a win and probably a spot in the next WBC. And bro, I'm swinging at the first pitch, bro. I don't even care at this point. Like I already had like, a couple of bats that are like I'm just swinging at the first pitch. I think at first pitch I hit like a 1-hop line drive to second, and I'm like just like, bro, I don't even know, like I'm like jittery as hell. So that was cool. And then we won that game, bro, and it was like the coolest raw emotion I've seen like from a group of guys, bro. Like we were all like so like thrilled and like proud, and like we're clapping in front of the fans after the game, and yeah, it was just awesome, man, awesome. And like so the guy that hit the home run, he starts blowing up on Instagram.
I bet.
He's like, bro, I got like 1,500 followers after this game, and it was sick, dude, sick. So then the next day we played Japan. When you play Japan, bro, you're playing Japan, but you're playing Japan. You're playing 55,000 fans in the stadium, sold out,
Oh my
all the
God.
way to the roof, bro. When I tell you walking on the field, man, to control like the feeling that I had in my body, and it's not even that I'm like nervous, bro, but like your body is just like the adrenaline is just pumping through the roof. And I remember like the first 2 innings, I didn't hit until the 3rd inning. We're facing Roki Sasaki, who's throwing 102 with a 92-mile-an-hour split finger. And dude, we put up a run on him in the first inning. Like Merrick pieced him up for a double. I think Eric had pieced him up too for a single. So we hit him pretty well the first inning. Second inning, he comes back and like just shut that down really quick. And we're winning at this point. We're winning 1-0 against Japan. So my third at bat my 3rd inning, I face him, and bro, he goes split finger, 92. I whiffed first pitch. Like I was sitting fastball, of course. Like, second pitch, split finger again. I whiff again, and I'm like, that's gross, bro. Like I don't even know what to do. And so now my head's on the split finger, and you know what he does? He throws a 1-on-1 fastball right down the middle, and I like sorted my swing through the zone just to like finish it, but I didn't even touch it. I'm just like, yep. just start walking back. But I remember it was the coolest feeling because after that, like my body like centered itself, and I was like, okay, we're here now. And when you play, so going back to playing Japan, bro, when you're on defense, you don't hear anything.
No way.
The fans are chanting the guy's name hitting in like a song in unison, the entire stadium in unison. Just like, I don't know, I couldn't explain it to you, but like basically like a song about the guy hitting,
That's unreal.
like a chant in unison. And so, bro, like they'll hit a fly ball. You have no idea if he hit it well, if he hit it bad. You're like looking at the ball and you're like, did he get it? Did he not? Okay, I'm running in. Or, oh, I'm going back. And I remember one fly ball, bro. I'm running, and I'm like, dude, damn it, I guess he got this. I'm like getting to the wall. The wall's turf, so you can't, you don't know if you're at the warning track. And I like go up, I catch it, boom, hit the wall. I'm like, damn, I was next to the wall. I had no idea. Yeah, dude, it was nuts, bro. I mean, if you want to ask me any questions about it, just feel free. I could tell you, I could go on for
They had
days
you in the
about it.
outfield. Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
played left field the whole tournament there. Yeah, so that was the crazy part. Our center fielder, first day at training camp, freaking broke his toe, bro. And obviously I played infield, but I've always been like, I played a little bit of right field my second year at UM, and I've always been able to play outfield. So they kind of hey, can you play outfield? Like, and I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, that's not even an issue for me. So I just started training in the outfield the whole training camp because that's where I ended up playing in the tournament.
Cool.
So what happened? Did you face your second at bat? When did you get
Yeah,
Yeah, let's go through.
Kelsey by 102.
Yeah.
So, bro, Sasaki's pitching. He had struck me out my first at bat on a heater, and here I go to my second at bat against him. He's getting close to his pitch limit too, because in WBC you only have 65 pitches, and then you have to go on 4 days
No
rest.
way. I did not know that.
And yeah, it's like I don't like that rule, to be honest. I feel like it should be just a little bit more, like 85 pitches or 80 pitches, because guys really only get through 4 or 5 innings. And bro, so he goes, dude, what pitch did he throw? Oh, he goes split finger for a ball, and I'm like, okay, saw it, he saw it, took it, ball one, fastball 102, hardest pitch he had thrown of the day, right on the black. I'm like, wasn't hitting that. So next pitch, fastball in 102 on the black, like on the quadrant. When it came out later, it was literally on the corner, like my inside corner. I was like, wasn't swinging at that either. All right, and it's, bro, when you're facing 102, you see it, you do, but your mind does not pull the trigger as fast as you want it to. Like you really have to be made up your mind to go. And then so now I'm like, all right, well, now I gotta just sit on, be on time for the fastball and protect a little bit. Throws me the split finger, I foul it back. Bro, I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm so pumped. I'm like, let's go, man. Let's go. I hit the split finger, all right, because dude, it was like 92 just disappearing, and I hit it. I'm like, all right, let's go. We're in this. So now that I hit the split finger, I'm like geared up for the heater, geared up, bro, because I'm like, dude, he's not gonna blow it by me. He already did it once to me. I'm gonna get on this one. And I had taken it twice in that at bat, so I knew they knew that I wasn't really seeing it well. And bro, when I tell you I'm geared up to go. You know me, Joe. I'm a fastball heavy guy. Like I cheat the fastball hard sometimes, and I usually hit them pretty well at least back in the day. And bro, that fastball came on my hand, and I'm like ready to go, and I just go, oh shit, boom, bro. All you hear, the stadium, by the way, when they're pitching is dead quiet. So it's the total opposite. We're on offense, dead quiet. They're on offense, can't hear a thing.
Wow. Okay.
Bro, when I tell you it popped so loud, bro, that my whole dugout heard the ball hit my knee. Like, dude, they were like, dude, you can, and you hear it on the TV too and everything when you listen to it. Bro, he hit me square like in the middle of my knee, right? And I remember like I go down and I'm like in pain already, like instantly in pain. And I start crawling. I start crawling towards the edge because I'm like trying to think like, how the hell do I stand up right now? Because I want to get up. Like I'm in the World Baseball Classic. Like I'm not going out right now. But all I can think about in my head is like, yeah, my knee's broken. That's it. It's gone. because I heard the pop too, and I'm like, bro, my knee has to be done. And bro, so the trainers come over, bro. I'm in agony at this point. Like, bro, my knee's really hurting. And they're like, hey man, we gotta stand you up. I'm like, stand me up. They're like, yeah, but we gotta stand you up. That's the only way we're gonna know if it's broken or not. He's like, do you think it's broken? I'm like, dude, it freaking popped, bro. Like, I think it's broken. Bro, I stand up and I put my leg on it, and like my leg kind of gave in a little bit, but I was like, okay. And bro, in my head, when it hit me and I'm on the floor, like before everybody got there, I'm just thinking in my head, like, bro, please, God, not now, man. Like, I'm in the World Baseball Classic, like, let this not be how it ends for me. Like, I don't want this how to, like, I really just, I want to play, I want to play. It's the greatest, probably the greatest moment ever in my life. And so they stand me up, whatever, I'm getting up. And they're like, what do you think? And I'm like, whatever, let's see if I can walk on it. So I start walking, bro. I'm like, you could tell I'm in pain, bro. I'm like breathing, like trying to like breathe the pain out of my body. And I'm like, I walk all the way to first base, and they're like, what do you think? I'm like, well, let me just jog on it, see what happens, bro. I started jogging, and I just hear the whole stadium just start clapping, whistling, cheering me on. And I run a sprint, and everybody goes freaking berserk, dude. Like, the whole stadium. And like, I remember the commentators are like, "Oh, it's not." He's like, he's bro, and that was a cool moment, bro. Like, to see like how grateful and like appreciative the fans are of baseball, bro, and like players being okay and how much they care about the game, bro. It was inspiring, dude. Like, I was just like, damn, like now I want to stay in the game. Like, I was like, damn, I should steal a base or something. Like,
let me stick it to him now.
And then I'm like, bro, I really wanted to, but every time I try to push off, I was like, yeah, like that's just not gonna happen. Yeah, dude. And I remember I stayed the rest of that game. I played up until the 8th inning, and then they took me out before the 9th just because they were like, hey, just take it easy. Like, we were already losing like 10-2 at this point when Japan broke it open. But, dude, it was sick, bro, sick.
That's crazy. You had them cheering for you and stuff. You're not gonna say that anywhere else. There's no way.
Dude, I literally got like 14,000 followers like overnight.
Oh my god.
Like, not overnight. I think in the next 3 days, bro. So Sasaki, the pitcher, I don't know if you saw it, but he came and gave me 2 bags of candy to like apologize. And we took a picture. I think he posted it. I posted it on mine. Japan, like the national team posted it. And bro, I remember just my phone blowing up. Boom, follow requests. I put my account on public. I was like, whatever, bro. Like, I'm not doing this. And I got 16,000 followers in like 3 days, bro. The post of me and him had like 200,000 likes, I think. The post, I had a post and it had like 20,000 likes, and I'm like, since when? Like, what's going on? I remember walking around Japan in the streets. I'm at a Lululemon store, and people are asking me, are you Escala from Czech Republic? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, can we take a picture? And I'm like, sure. Like, okay. Bro, and I was like, it was cool, man. I got like instant famous. That's my claim to fame, is getting hit by 102 now in Japan.
I mean, not a lot of people could say that. That's awesome.
Yeah. But what I was told, man, was, yeah, sick, dude, sick.
What were you told? What were you saying?
What I was told from the guys in Japan and like the fans and stuff was like what really like inspired them, and like I think what kind of like made them like me more was the fact of like that I stayed in the game and everything, and they said I had like the samurai spirit, and I thought that was really cool, man. When they told me that, I was like, damn, bro, that's a cool thing to hear, that I reflect like some of their values and morals in the game of baseball. So that was cool.
It all comes full circle. That's awesome. You're just saying mentally tough freshman year in Miami, putting through those workouts to getting drilled by 102 and staying in the game. It stays. It stays.
It stays, bro.
I mean,
Definitely.
in Japan, it's like if you combine football, baseball, and basketball into one sport, that's what baseball means to them, I feel like.
Yes. Yeah, exactly, bro. It's huge. They love it over there. They love it. They're like diehard fans.
That's their sport. That's their actual sport, you know.
They're good at it too.
It's crazy.
I agree,
Yeah,
bro.
they're good.
I would compare
Dude, those guys get
like
in the bigs.
like Japan. Yeah, bro. Those guys play really good baseball. Bro. Really good
They
baseball.
won. They won. They beat
I
the
know.
team.
I know.
You know, the MLB All Stars. You know, it's just crazy. Those guys are no joke. Who's that power hitter they have that just drops? He drops like 45 a year in Japan.
Oh,
Yeah,
Murakami.
yeah. Oh my God.
It's his last name's Murakami. Yeah, he's like he's probably be in MLB in a couple of years. Sasaki's gonna be in the MLB in a couple of years. They had Otani on that team. They had Lars Nootbaar. They had Yamamoto, who's he's the three-time Cy Young Award winner in the MPB, who's gonna get paid a lot of money this year and go play in the MLB now. So yeah, that team was really
What was
really
it
good.
like when Otani got up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, watching him, that guy hit BP might have been the single most impressive thing I've seen in my life. You remember watching Gabe hit
Yes.
BP?
Gabe used to crush
And
balls
Gabe
in
just hitting
BP.
some absolute moon shots. Bro, this guy would do that, but to center field. Like absolute moon shots, bro, off the batter side, like 4 in a row. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to hit one off my face. Here's a giant picture of his face in right center field on the Tokyo Dome Stadium for an advertisement with Asics. Hits it off his face, bro. I'm like, what? And bro, it's like effortless. And you're just like, dude, now you know why he's different, bro. You know why he
He's
does what he
huge
does.
too, right? Like you were standing near him. It was like,
Oh, he's massive, bro. He's like 6'4", 6'5", and just like, dude, like yoked.
Yeah, I mean, we completely forgot about that part that you played against the best player in the world. Literally. Like you were playing against the best player in the world. I mean, it's insane. When he came up, was it, you said it was silent, but it had to be loud when he came up.
No, yeah, when they hit, it was loud. It was more when we were hitting, it was quiet. Yeah,
when he first came up, it must
like
have
when
been
they were
ridiculous.
pitching, bro, dude, it was nuts, bro. Like he's their icon, you know. But him and even like Lars Nootbaar would get like a really loud ovation too. They all did, bro. But like him, Otani, and Murakami were like the two, like, you know, the superstars right now in Japan. And that was cool, bro. Like the way everybody like cheered for him and stuff.
Chris?
That's yeah, I mean representing a country, playing a game that you love, I don't think you could ask for anything else, right? I mean, you can't ask for anything else.
Man.
Playing a game, representing a country you love, it's the best, obviously. I mean, the way
It's
you
cool,
just
bro.
You know, it's crazy. It really is.
So now you're still in indie ball, right? You played indie ball this summer.
Yeah, bro. I played. Dude, I haven't been home like all year. I've been gone for like 8 months this year. This is the longest I've been home all year now. But yeah, I played indie ball in New Jersey, Sussex County Miners in the Frontier League. Most likely gonna go back there again for one more year. We'll see, bro. I mean, I've been, you know, pursuing the dream. I think the whole like playing for a Czech national team really opened up some, I'd say, like opportunities, but also opened up my eyes to just why I love baseball and why I love playing. So it's been
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, we always ask our guests to give young guys one piece of advice moving forward, but I don't know if you could top what you gave us in the beginning. If you want to go through that one more time.
Dude, yeah, I'd say number one, find out who you are, find out what you're good at, and keep getting better at those things. And then while you find out what you're good at, you're gonna realize what you're bad at and what you're not. So what I mean by that is, like, if you're not a power hitter, well, you can work on that. You can get stronger. You can do that, but what I mean by don't chase being a power hitter. Like, don't try to hit home runs because that's not your game, and you're gonna fail a lot more anyways if you try to do that. Now, that being said, you can still change the type of player you are. Like, you can go get better. You can go get stronger. and eventually that power is going to come when you develop a better, understanding of your swing and whatnot. But if you go into the game trying to be a power hitter, then you're going to fail because that's not what you are right now, if that makes sense. Um, like for me, I understand the type of hitter I am. I know I'm more of a contact guy. I know I can't go chasing home runs, but it doesn't mean I don't hit home runs. Like I'll still get them, especially my last month of the season. I hit 3 home runs in my last month. I had a lot more doubles and I had a lot more triples and slugging. And a big part of that was I wasn't trying to overdo who I am, but I had been working on my strength all year, my wrist strength, my core strength, stuff like that. But I also made some adjustments in my swing that allowed me to put a more powerful swing on the ball without chasing the power, if that makes sense, without trying to do a big swing. So I became a much more efficient hitter, so to speak, than I was before, and I think that's why the power was starting to translate.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And that's it for the youngest guys. The last thing I'd say is, man, just don't stop pushing yourself to get better. Like, if you think you got it or you think you understand it, don't tell yourself that. I don't use the word, oh, that's it, Oh, I figured it out. I never use that word anymore, bro, because the second you say that, I'm telling you, it's gonna go away real quick, bro. I know you can attest to that, but bro, it's like, oh, I got it. That's it. And then the next day, you're like, where the hell did he go? So just stay quiet, keep working.
I love it.
Yeah, Willie, thanks for coming on. This was a lot of fun hearing your experiences.
Nah, man, thanks for having me.
Yeah, this has been great. So, yeah, thank you for coming on. We'd love to talk to you more and stuff like that. We're going to stay in contact more.
Absolutely, bro. I appreciate you guys reaching out to me, and it was good to catch up with you. And, if you want me to come back on or do a little special, whatever, I'm more than open to it. So.
Cool. We'll definitely stay in touch. Willie, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.